Islam oppresses women and doesn't value them.
This is actually a very funny one. Um, um, okay, so starting from the pre-Islamic era, I'm sure a lot of us here know the status of women in the world, all around the world. And even in the Jahiliyyah society of Makkah, then, we know how women were treated. It was so bad that the verse of the Quran tells us that when a woman is in labor, imagine your wife being in labor. I mean, all you be expected to be concerned about is having a healthy mother and a healthy baby. That your wife is fine and your baby is fine. But at this time, it was about having a healthy wife and a healthy baby boy. Such that if they were then told that the wife had a baby girl, you could see the sorrow on their face and the embarrassment. And in some cases, they would actually bury their own daughters alive out of shame. So that was how lowly women were thought of in the pre-Islamic society in Mecca before the Prophet ﷺ came with the message of Islam. And it wasn't any better in other parts of the world. It's the same. Women were treated as property for a long time. Even in the US, for example, women didn't have the right to vote. In fact, it was even being debated whether women have a soul. So that was the extent. And then Islam came, and Islam came with a lot of reforms and giving women the right to property as a human being on her own. She has the right to work, the right to personal development, the right to education, and all of that. And it elevated, Islam actually elevated the status of Muslim women. They were now able to inherit not just from their husbands, but also from their fathers and some others. Now, and where I have a little challenge is that in today's world, a lot of time when Muslim writers and speakers want to talk about the status of women in Islam, we only do a comparison between the status of women in past civilizations or pre-Islamic civilization versus the reform that Islam brought, and then we stop there. We do not wait to consider and compare the status, the ideal that Islam brought, the ideal status that Islam wants women to be on, and the situation of women today. Because when we do look at that, then we see a discrepancy in the ideal that Islam has promoted and what we have in a lot of societies today. In a lot of societies, even in 2021, girl child education is still very low in Muslim communities because it is just not considered something that a woman needs, not considered important. And it's not just even Western education, even Islamic education. How many women scholars do we have? Why not? Simply because we do not pay much importance to women education. There are in today's world, even in Muslim countries, look at Pakistan, look at Afghanistan, and the issues of girls' access to education. And these are Muslim majority societies. So even though Islam has really elevated the status of women, I believe that as a Muslim community in Nigeria and across the globe, we still have a lot of work to do in order to ensure that we actually meet up to that ideal standard that Islam has set. The Prophet ﷺ, during the Khutbah al-Wada, his last sermon, he was telling the companions who were present, and he told them to pass this message to generations to come. He said that, okay, oh men, you have rights over your women, but they also have rights over you. He told them several times to take care of the women folk. He said, the best of you are the best to your women folk, and I am the best to my women. But the reality is in our society today, how well are women treated in their marriages? How many cases of psychiatric issues and depression are we seeing of Muslim women? because of their experiences at the hands of Muslim men in their marriages within our Muslim communities. And also, we, as a Muslim community, we like to grant this, oh, Islam liberated women over 1,400 years ago. Islam gave women rights even before the West thought about it. And we are so proud of these achievements and alhamdulillah, yes, we achieved that. But we do not, because of that, we do, and then in today's world also, we look at some of the experiences of women in other parts of the world. Oh, women are being sexualized, they are being objectified, they are not being respected. Islam has valued and respected us. And because of that, we fail to look inward at where we are failing as a Muslim community with regards to our women and how Islam has said they should be treated. So we still have a number of, like I said, very low enrollment of girl children in schools in a lot of Muslim communities. We have issues to do with forced marriages of girls by their family members, which is against Islam, but still happens anyway. We have a lot of issues of girl child marriages before they are mature enough for it and before they are ready for it. We have issues to do with wife beating and domestic violence in Muslim marriages, and these are issues that we need to discuss as a Muslim community, because we cannot just be talking about the reforms that Islam brought when we have actually fallen low the standard that Islam gave to us. So yes, I agree that Islam liberated Muslim women. The status of women in Islam is very high. The Prophet ﷺ talked about the importance of taking care of the women folk in several hadiths. It's so important that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened to and responded to the complaints of a Muslim woman from above the seven heavens. And there is even a Quran, surah of the Quran in relation to that incident in Surah Al-Mujadala. So we are not in doubt about the fact that Islam has really elevated the status of Muslim women. But it is also important for us to look inward at how our community is not meeting up to this standard that Islam has set, and see what kinds of reforms we need as a Muslim community in order to ensure that we come back to that standard that Islam has actually considered the ideal.
Thank you very much, Haleemah.